Oh, are we streaming already? I think we are. Are we? Nice. Hey guys, we are streaming live and we're about to begin on the Hake Report on my channel.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, welcome to the Friday show of the Hake Report. I'm James Hake, and it is Friday the 13th, and nobody likes to go along with that mess because what is that, druid stuff? Who started this Friday the 13th thing? Was it whites? Was it satanic whites? Or satanic somebody else? And this coronavirus thing is going out of control, by the way. Get your cool stickers, by the way. Is Tom Hanks faking it? Somebody said that he was. I don't know if it's true. But I'm live on my channels. It's YouTube, D Live, Periscope, Mixer, Twitch, and Facebook. 6 different channels. Does it warrant it? I don't know. But I like to reach as many people as I can, right? Let me know if I should shut it down, some of them. But we're live. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time. Also, check out Hake News from the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I put up the notes for both the radio show, Hake News, and also my show, the Hake Report, on my blog posts and Hake News section, thehakereport.com. I was in my late 20s before I saw the Friday the 13th movies with Jason. Jason is the big, tall guy who was traumatized as a kid at a summer camp or something like that in Crystal Lake, and then he comes back and kills people who are young teenagers or young adults who are having sex when they shouldn't. Right? Have you seen the Friday the 13th? Joel Friday the 13th. Whoa. No? Anyways, raunchy 80s movies, I heard, right? I only watched one of them. It was after that I saw The Shining, the movie The Shining, which I really like because I just like the scenery and feel of it and the feel of that hotel. I don't really like the ending part where they're killing everybody. Not to spoil it, but this was awesome. I think Joel has this screenshot of this chat, but you know how I'm constantly reading super chats from this user named Marcus Jones sucks, and I hate saying sucks, so he's changed his name for me. Isn't that nice? Marcus Jones stinks. Said, I changed my username since Hake can't stand saying sucks. There we go. Now I'm kid-friendly. Well, I don't know if it's kid-friendly, but it's mother-friendly towards the kids, because mothers don't like kids saying sucks. Isn't that true?
I couldn't say sex in my house.
Yeah, me neither.
I couldn't say stupid. I couldn't say sex.
Yeah, nobody's stupid. Yes, they are. Oh, man. I remember the first time I felt at ease to say heck. What the heck? Because my sister said, what the heck? I remember I was traumatized one time. Well, I was shocked one time because I had older siblings, right? Mostly older siblings. And my oldest brother is 7 years older than me. More than 7 years, actually. And during the summertime, we would have to work, right, for my dad. He might pay us $5 an hour, max. The good old days. That was actually later. But anyways, we had to like trim the ivy, cut the ivy from the fence, and go work on the roof, nail down shingles, work on the addition, because he did an addition. He did additions to the house himself. He just went to the library, figured out how, and then started making additions. And all kinds of things. And one time, my brother was leading my older brother and me. My oldest brother was leading my older brother and me, and maybe my sister, to like do stuff. And I was assigned to go get something or something. And I took my sweet time or something. I went inside or whatever. And then I told him what I was doing. I came back. He's all, where have you been? And I said something. And he's all, bull. I was like, whoa. I was so shocked and traumatized when my oldest brother said bull. He didn't say the whole rest of it. I don't know where he learned it either. Probably from the bad kids across the street or from school or something. I would have been in kindergarten or first grade, and he was in like 8th grade or something like that. Anyways, whatever. That's like throwback. That's back when I was sheltered before I watched these Freddy Krueger movies. I've never seen a Freddy Krueger movie. Friday the 13th, all these horror movies. My mother watched them as a kid, I think, and I think she used to get nightmares, so she didn't let us watch them. Whatever. Why put that stuff in your head, right? I'm going to get to calls, and then I'm going to talk about this tax stuff. I want to talk about Ilhan Omar. I don't want to say the word that I'm thinking because it's the word that got Rush Limbaugh in trouble years ago when he called Sandra Fluke, Sandra Fluke, the word that Jesse uses, because she wanted to get paid to have birth control or abortions and stuff because she has sex out of wedlock. Sandra Fluke in college. But is she an adulteress? I don't know what do Muslims do with adulteresses anymore, but she's a liberal one. And then hopefully I'll touch on this a little bit more about this Bradley, quote unquote, Chelsea Manning fighting for his life, I heard, according to Drudge, after attempting suicide. Poor Bradley. Don't blame him. But anyways, let me get to a couple of calls, and then we'll get into that stuff. Ryan, out of Arkansas. Ryan from Arkansas. How you doing?
Amazing. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. It's nice to hear from you.
Good deal. Hey, just some more facts for everybody out there. I love dropping fact bombs. A lot of people just don't know, so it's important to get it out there.
True.
H1N1, swine flu. Obama, president, between 2009 and 2010, he waited until 11 million people in the U.S. were infected and confirmed before he declared it an emergency. And during the year 2010, 60 million Americans contracted the flu, and 300,000 of them were hospitalized. And you never heard the news say anything negative about Obama's handling of the situation. They only praised him about what a great job he was. It was absolutely amazing.
Was this before or after he got, because this was 2009-2010, right? 2009-2010. Was this before or after he won the Nobel Peace Prize? Which is another joke.
Oh, and then he was stripped of that, I believe.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
He was the biggest warmonger in history, pretty much. That's a fact.
Look, I have a picture on, wow, look at it. His clothed arm looks big, but then his naked arm, sleeveless arm, he's rolling up. I have a photograph from 2009-2010 of Obama getting a shot from a white woman nurse or nurse's practitioner or something for the H1N1. I remember that H1N1 name, swine flu. I didn't know that it was the swine flu, but that was over 10 years ago. And he, according to you and others, he botched it. Over 12,000 estimated American deaths from that thing. That is wild. I know somebody, I was looking on Twitter, somebody got that H1N1 disease thing as a young person, and they said it stunk. Well, stunk, I'm cleaning up the word, right? Sucked. But sorry, mothers of small children. But yeah, that's that is, the media is a kiss up to Obama, and they hate Trump. They hate the white man, the decent white man. They love the corrupt black man, corrupt liberal socialist because they think like him. Anti-American. Very true, man. What a mess.
Well, this is
I don't
their
believe
only
that
way
I don't believe that they stripped him of the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, he was pushing war stuff. Didn't he go after? I almost said Bosnia, but that was Clinton, I think, or somebody. But he did crazy stuff. I think in Libya, right?
Oh yeah,
Isn't he the co-founder of ISIS and along with Hillary Clinton?
absolutely.
Basically, according to Trump.
The way the news media is running this, it's very simple. The gentleman who does polling, who did all the fact-finding and knew, he gave Trump an 83% chance of winning last election.
Yeah.
He's got that up to between him and Biden. If Biden is the nominee, it's going to be Trump wins by 91%.
Wow.
And everyone knows he's going to win. So they have to pile on and try and damage him as much as they can before the weather warms up and this whole thing is gone and the stock market is through the roof again.
I heard that there was a discrepancy in his speech, that he said we were suspending even trade between Europe and America. But afterwards he cleaned it up and said, no, we're not suspending trade. But other than that, he seems like he's handling this right.
Yeah, maybe he kind of slipped up a little there. Maybe he caught the Joe Biden disease. Didn't know what he was saying for a second.
Right.
All right, buddy, I got to take out and get to work.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care. Let me get to Chris out of Costa Rica. Chris, what's up?
What up, Hake? How's it going,
Or
brother?
from Costa Rica, right? Originally from.
Well, no. I'm actually back in Costa Rica right now.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just flew in here. And that whole thing with the coronavirus, dude, what a joke, man.
Really?
What a complete joke, yeah. At the airport, they've got signs everywhere, but let me tell you, it's jam-packed. There's people everywhere.
Oh, good.
And parents putting those stupid little masks on their kids for nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've seen sicker people beforehand. And but it's a great time to fly because I was just looking at flights, like around the country and all that. They're under. I saw a flight right now to Miami for $39. So this is the best time to fly. So people that want to travel, do it now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you know what? I heard that there was $100 flights or something to Hawaii one way.
Oh, take advantage of it. People need to take advantage of it. Just like when that H1 other thing that came out, that other fake thing and the bird thing, whatever, man. But
well, I mean, you have to be healthy to do it. If you're a sickly type person, you're prone to getting sick, or you're old. I think better safe than sorry.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example. For instance, I flew here to see my wife and also to work with some volunteer groups. So we had 3 groups from 3 different universities that were coming here to do some volunteer work in a slum.
Okay.
2 of them already canceled last minute.
Wow.
I mean, I'm talking about thousands of dollars that the schools have to reimburse these kids.
Yeah.
And then the other group is probably going to go ahead and cancel it as well. But honestly,
shame.
man, I didn't see people like really sick or anything like that. It's really, I think it's just it's more of a money thing. So people are buying up all kinds of like Purell. So that's the kind of stock you want to be buying now.
Right. Purell being the hand sanitizer stuff. Jeez. Exactly.
But I'm looking forward to fly back over there, man, and see you guys sometime soon.
Cool, man.
Hopefully I get the visa for my wife and head up with there as well.
Well, stay healthy, man. Stay smart.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You too, brother. Hey, oh, by the way, man. Oh, last thing, man. Hey, I really like that you got your own channel now.
Yes.
And you got that all set up.
Yeah.
So now people are actually going to see you and listen to you. And you can not distance yourself, but there's a clear distinction between like you and Jesse now.
Yeah, he's pushing me out of the nest.
That, man.
Isn't that nice?
Good work, bro.
Thanks, man.
Awesome stuff, man.
All right.
Keep going, brother. All right, take care, brother.
You too. Take care.
All right, bye now.
Bye. So, yeah, I don't think it's L. Ron Humperdinck, something, was like saying, oh, Jesse messed James up because James used to be on Jesse's channels and would get, like 1,000 viewers, whatever. And now he only gets 200, 300, 300, whatever. That's totally fine. That means people are actually going over to my channels. That's nice. And plus, guys, some of you may not be aware of it. I also stream on Sundays on my channel. Before Jesse's church channel goes on. Isn't that nice? So, you know what? Quickly, let me get to Social Pariah out of Denver, Colorado. Social Pariah, what's up?
Hey, I'm not going to take real long. I just wanted to say that they actually had people, that they've interviewed after they've had the coronavirus. And
yeah.
One guy was pretty old. He said, they didn't feel that bad. And he got 100. His temperature went up to 103, which is not good.
Right.
But it broke, and then he was okay. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make anybody think that they shouldn't be, take precautions. But I certainly wouldn't. It doesn't warrant as much freaking out as people are doing, though.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I'm sure there's going to be mixed reviews on this thing because some people are actually, for months and years, we've been having the illegal aliens disease, and some of us don't really take good care of ourselves, and we get sick, and then we get kind of okay, and then we get sick again because we're not really taking care of ourselves, and that's a bigger issue, and that's like an ongoing issue rather than just one crazy virus. I think that we have this illegal alien disease that Jesse's been talking about going around, and they've been ignoring that, but people have been getting crazy sicknesses, and part of it I think is their habits, and part of it is the government not wanting to protect the people. They like money better than people.
Well, I appreciate you taking my call, and I like your show, but I'll get off and let somebody else talk.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. So, let me tell you guys a little bit about California. You know how I'm part of the Bond Entrepreneur Academy? I went through it, and Joelle did, and others have too. And part of the Entrepreneur Academy is that we should be owning some land. You gotta own some land. What's wrong with you? To quote Jesse, paraphrase. He says it in one of the commercials, right? Some of us sing along to some of the commercials. I say sing along because it's almost like music. Like you know the words. But anyways, I was thinking, should I be buying property in California? Because what if they get rid of this? They have this thing called Prop 13. And it's not the same Prop 13 that was voted down just recently. But this Prop 13 kind of grandfathers in the property taxes or something that people have to pay on the land that they own, the homes and real estate, meaning land that they own, properties, homes, houses, whatever. And because California's taxes were property taxes, that means you're paying rent to the government basically on an annual basis, or at least, for the land that you own. And if you don't pay that property tax, they take away your own land that you bought and paid for. Isn't that crazy? And the taxes were getting ridiculous. So I think this group called Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, which was conservatives, rhinos, maybe even some Democrats, banded together, maybe some libertarians, banded together and were like, no, stop taxing us so badly. There are some states that don't charge you to own the land, own your own land. I forget what states, maybe Washington State, maybe Nevada. They might not have property tax. You guys probably know better than me, some of you guys, especially the Gen X, the millennials that own land already, the boomers, all of you guys that I respect so much. in California, the property taxes are crazy. So they started this Prop 13 thing to say, like, no, you can't be taxing so much. Nick says, as far as I know, there's no state with no property tax. But I think that you might be wrong about that, Nick. There are some places where you can own your property and you're not taxed for it. I think. There are some places with no income tax? I don't know. But anyways, California, this is from Drudge and U.S. News and World Report, sharing an AP article. Had enough Californians turn down, and I have just one little screenshot of this headline. Californians turn down higher taxes and debt. Californians residents pay some of the nation's highest taxes on gasoline, that's petrol for you guys who are overseas, clothing, and the money that they earn. And those revenues have contributed to massive state budget surplus. So that's a little headline. And the defeat Tuesday we voted, right, of the largest borrowing proposal in the history of California schools, $15 billion for repairs of California public schools. And it was voted down. Nice. Finally, the voters did something right. Has opened the question of whether California voters put a temporary halt on the growth of government debt because of the unsettling political scene or because of the cusp of a tax revolt akin to the 1970s one that brought landmark changes to property taxes. And I presume that that's what I was referring to, this Howard Jarvis thing. Some of you guys, if you were alive back then, know better than me. Or if you weren't alive, but you know history. But it's been a generation since a state school bond failed. And a bond meaning, hey, let us spend more of your money or borrow more money to spend on schools. We've been spending money on schools like crazy, and our schools have only gotten worse, partly because of the immigrants coming in. They don't speak any English. And partly because the teachers are a bunch of liberals. And the teachers do try hard. Some of them work hard. Some of them, a lot of them, put in their own money into teaching materials. And then there is all this craziness with government employees getting these crazy pensions, I hear. I hear about it on local radio. But voters rejected more than half of the 237 local tax and bond measures on that ballot in California. This is in California. With several dozen contests still undecided as California authorities wade through hundreds of thousands of uncounted ballots, according to a tally by the California Taxpayers Association. Mac Mars says, Hake, all states have property taxes. Take a first-time home buyer program. I don't know, man. Somebody look it up for me. But anyways, additionally, there is widespread anger. This is really getting to the meat of some of the situation for like the common everyday experience of people. There's widespread anger over soaring housing costs. People are spending, I think most people are spending like upwards of $1,500 a month on just rent here. And for some of you guys, that's paying a mortgage. And a mortgage means like you're paying off, I think a mortgage means you're paying off the debt to your house after you're buying a house. So you're paying for a house with, in some cases, less than $1,500 a month. We're paying that for just to rent a place, some of us. Anyways, soaring housing costs, a troubled and vastly over-budget high-speed rail project. That was the former governor, I almost said Michael Brown. Jerry Brown or whatever his name was, the son of the governor before him, one of the governors before him. He had this high-speed rail project going from like San Diego or Los Angeles all the way up to Silicon Valley, San Francisco or whatever. I don't know. And this is the real one, and a homelessness crisis out of control in the state's major cities, of which Los Angeles is one major city. Here's a Claremont McKenna College political scientist, Jack Pitney. He says there is a sense that California isn't working, and that's true, that's for sure. He says voters said we've been taxed enough. And this is a liberal, I don't know if he's a liberal, but I'm guessing professors, political science, I hate that term, political science. I hate political scientists. It's not science. Did they predict Trump's win? I don't know. Doubt it. But anyway, he said we've been taxed enough. And that's what the Tea Party was. In part, the Tea Party was saying TEA, taxed enough already. It's crazy. When you think about your paycheck, if you're paid, so let's say you're paid $10 an hour. I don't think that's legal in California. I think the minimum wage is more than $10 an hour. Let's say you're paid $10 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So 80-hour paycheck, right? So you should get $800. But really you're getting what? Like $600 something dollars? Because they're taxing you 20-30%. You get some of it back if you don't make more money than that. Some at the end of the year or whatever, or springtime. But anyways, the supporters had promoted this plan. This plan of repairing the schools using something like $9 billion from the so-called Proposition 13, different from the one that protects your property taxes from going too high. This new Prop 13 would go to K to 12 schools, kindergarten to 12th grade, with the rest for higher education. Dang, they were going to spend a bunch of money. They said it was a desperately needed repair job for crumbling schools, some more than a half century old. But they've been spending money like crazy on schools, and they need to get rid of minimum wage, by the way. I don't know. I just was wondering what's going on. It sounds like the voters are wising up a little bit on at least the fiscal stuff. But I hate people who are just fiscal conservatives and they're social liberals, because social liberals eventually lead to needing fiscal liberalism, right? Because if you're not socially conservative, you're socially liberal. That means you let the people run wild, and when the people run wild with the same-sex mess, the transgender mess, and all of that stuff, those people live irresponsible lives. Letting prisoners out of jail early, all that stuff, that's social liberalism. And when you do that, crime goes up, out of control living goes up, pornography and all that mess, and people don't live proper lives, so they can't really take care of themselves, and then they need the so-called government to help them. That's not wise, so I don't like people who are only so-called fiscal conservatives. But I guess it's a start. But we need to keep pushing them. Push the social conservatism stuff. There's a lot of dummies, of which I dare say many of the rhino groups, TPUSA, are like giving up on the social stuff. Same-sex marriage. They're saying, I think it's great that you can adopt kids as homosexuals. No, that's not great. You saw with what that Michael Strahan guy did. He was kissing up to Desmond is Amazing. Desmond is Amazing is an 11-year-old drag queen kid. His parents let him dance around on the ABC News set. I have some screenshots. I'm going to give them to Joel. And everybody's applauding except for one black guy in the audience with a little bit of sense. And it's so bad. And Michael Strahan is a black guy. Looks like he should have the sense to not go along with it. But he has a deal with ABC News, Good Morning America. And so he's like laughing and applauding along with it. Let me just scroll down and find this. Okay. Hang on, Joel. I'm just going to, if you're watching the show, you're going to see, like, prepare to be visually traumatized, right? Transferring them over now. So I'm going to move on to this adulterous thing, but when you have them, Joel, let me know. Okay, let's just show these. These are pictures, screenshots from this. Oh, man, that's terrible. I even hate to show this to you guys. Look away, kids and people with the weak stomach and people with I don't know. Look at these. Look at that man. There's a white man all clapping. And you see this 11, I think he was 11-year-old Desmond is, so he calls himself Desmond is amazing. And I don't know if he's a full-on supposed to call him, thinking he's transgender. Look at that goofy smile of that white man with gray hair. He's supposed to have more sense than that. He's at least Gen X, if not Boomer. He might be a trans too. Look at how he's sitting. He has his feet all up. But zoom in on that area. That's kind of immature looking how it you guys see that? His feet are all, his heels are all propped up on the legs of the chair. Dang, I better start exercising before my body starts looking like that. Too late. But look at this little kid, 11 years old, wearing a old lady hair wig, and a dumb white woman and a dumb Michael Strahan black guy shaking hands and hugging this kid who does a stripper dance. I mean, he doesn't strip off his clothes, luckily, but he like lays down like a stripper angel person thing. And they have a sparkly red carpet thing. It's awful. That is a stripper move, I heard, according to Nick. I don't know if he knows firsthand, but the gays started it. Nick, sorry, I'm just messing around. Joel knows too, Nick says. No, he doesn't. Anyways, guys, I'm not for... We have to be more than just so-called fiscal conservatives. You know that, right? You know that. Oh, Joel knows. Anyways, that's awful. Here's more social liberalism. Ilhan Omar, who was supported, I think, by the so-called Justice Democrats. That's the Young Turks people. The Young Turks is Cenk Uygur, the big guy. He's Turkish. He used to be so-called fiscal conservative, maybe even social conservative. Muslim. I don't know if he's Muslim still. But it's not too hot in here. A whole lot of hot air coming out of my mouth. But this woman, Ilhan Omar, allegedly had an affair, allegedly, right? And I don't like getting into that messy stuff. But she confirms it because, look, she posted this picture on Instagram if you're watching, and I'll describe it. It's a black and white photo of Ilhan Omar with the head wrap thing all the way up her head, the top part of her head, and a man with a beard, like close to her and holding her belly. What? Is she pregnant? But anyways, she posted this on Instagram shamelessly, and it said, "Got married," or something like that. What did she say? I think I have it. Did it say got married? Yeah, got married. From partners in politics, gross, to life partners. So blessed. And what, Nick, our resident Muslim, how do you pronounce that last word that she says? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. He's not a real Muslim. He's a resident whatever. He knows how to pronounce this stuff. Whoa. Is that ISIS song? Is that an ISIS song? ISIS has some admittedly awesome music, but it's evil. Allahu Akbar! Yeah. That was... I know what that's from. I remember seeing that clip. What Joel just dropped, he dropped an audio thing where the guy says, Allahu Akbar! That's saying God is great. That's what they say when they're about to cut your head off. He was, oh no, they did. Oh, he didn't mean to mix it. But there was a guy who kept on saying, Allahu Akbar, and he was firing off, I forget what they're called, mortars or something. And at one misfired or something and blew him up. And it really did happen. It's crazy. But Ilhan Omar, Representative Ilhan Omar, how old is she? Early 30s? Late 20s, early 30s? Maybe my age. Pretty lady, but evil. Like a cherry tomato that is rotten on the inside. But not totally rotten. She has a nose ring. Is that a Muslim thing or is that a millennial thing? Millennial? So, months after the claim, she is getting married, and this is what, her third so-called marriage? Marrying a political consultant. Oh, and she called her husband a life partner. So is he a transgender? Did she marry a woman? I'm halfway kidding. But AP reports this. The two were accused of having an affair, which she denied months ago. So did she lie? Like Bill Clinton? Now the women are doing it. And she's the politician. And it's not just, well, do I want to touch on this? It's not just the liberals who are living wrong, too. We know that. I heard that back in last fall of last year, it was announced that Sarah Palin's husband was trying to divorce her or working on that. And then in November, it was reported that she being Sarah Palin, the former governor of Alaska, she ran for vice president with that rhino guy, John McCain, back in 2008, the man who did not fight to win, who did not campaign to win against Obama, then candidate Obama. John McCain, the rhino, now he's dead. But he's like, no, ma'am, he's not an Arab. An old lady was concerned that he's not a Christian, he's not pro-America, he's Arab, meaning Muslim. And there are Arab Christians, just FYI, but whatever. It's funny. But he's all, no, ma'am, he's a nice man. He would be an okay president. And he got boos after saying that. Boos. Boo. John McCain. And he's like, not that I wouldn't think I would make a lot better of a president. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running. And then they clapped him for him. But his vice president pick, Sarah Palin, we thought she was so great. Tea Party lady. Nice woman. Her husband was manly. Todd Palin. They're kind of getting a divorce, or he wants a divorce. She said that she found out by an email from the attorney. She said that on Dr. James Dobson's show. Dr. James Dobson being like a pro-family guy. Nice guy. And so it's not over. They're getting counseling and whatever. So that's good. I don't know if any of them cheated on each other or he can't deal with Sarah Palin. That may well be. I don't know. She seems like a kind of a high-stress person. But anyways, a marriage license filed in Washington, D.C. This is back to Ilhan Omar. Married political consultant Tim Minette. And he doesn't look like a full-on white guy. On Wednesday, Omar announced her new marriage Wednesday night on Instagram with a photo of her and a bearded man smiling and displaying wedding rings. It almost looked like his hand was on her belly. But I could be wrong. Life partners. And she didn't even identify the man. Wow. Filings with the Federal Election Commission show Ilhan Omar's campaign paid Tim Minette or his firm nearly $600,000 since July 2018. Though it may raise eyebrows, family members, including spouses, can be on the campaign payroll as long as a family member provides services at a fair market value. Crazy. Corrupt. And Trump did this stuff, I guess, a little bit when his distant past, but he married a long time ago. They had Barron. 2005 or so, they had Barron. He's 14 now, I think. And as far as we know, he's been behaving. And on top of that, he's just real, pushing for what's right. And this woman is pushing for evil, nasty. That's an inappropriate form dog 2020. He says that she's a sex addict. But it's, I don't know. That's that gross, wrong, corruption stuff. Misery. First, Katie Hill, by the way, these women in politics, thinking that they're going to be better behaved than the men. Katie Hill, too. Katie Hill was a Democrat from California, and she had to resign. She resigned, actually. And she and her husband, who might be trying to divorce her now, she was elected as one of the first or something like that, bisexual. She ran on being bisexual. That means you get with women and men. And yet she's been married to this male, for 4 years, 10 years maybe, I think. Katie Hill, white woman, I think she's white, from Santa Clarita area, where that shooting happened recently with that, I think it was an Asian guy, did a mass shooting up in Santa Clarita, Newhall area. But it was outed, maybe even by her husband, I don't know, that she had a threesome thing going, a three-way thing going with somebody on her campaign staff, a woman. And then it was alleged that she was having another affair by her husband, right? Messy stuff, but her husband claimed that she was having another affair with another male. Women are acting like they're so holy. Liberal women, too. Anyways, that's that. I'm going to open the treasure chest in less than 15 minutes, guys. Get ready. So, what's going on with Bradley Chelsea Manning? I call him Chelsea because that's what he calls himself. I think he changed his name to that legally. He's the guy that I was telling you about. He's so-called transgender. There's a photo of him with, I don't know if that's a wig or if that's his real hair, acting like he's a woman. Well, a federal judge ordered that so-called Chelsea Manning be released. And it came out that he was recovering Wednesday. I don't know if he's recovering or not, from this suicide attempt. The jail guards, I think, they put him in jail because he was refusing to testify about the WikiLeaks thing on principle. And I don't know, that's his right to try to do that and then face the consequences on principle, right? But if you're trying to commit suicide, that's not right. But he's a transgender, miserable. I hear that there's a lot of miserable transgenders. I mean, are they all? There's this kid who's been celebrated. I'm not talking about Desmond is amazing. I'm talking about, what was that? Jax or something like that? Been promoted big time by ABC and all these other people. These kids. A male kid. I am Jazz. I am Jazz. Google that one. I am Jazz. Just to show you, not to traumatize you guys too much. It's gross. But anyways, and this is from Washington Times, right? A federal judge ordered the release of so-called Chelsea Manning from jail days after a reported suicide attempt. The U.S. Judge Anthony Trenga ordered the release Thursday after ruling there was no need to keep Ms., meaning Mr., Manning in jail to coerce testimony. They're trying to coerce a testimony against WikiLeaks. And WikiLeaks kind of a mixed bag because they, for one good thing, they outed Hillary and the DNC. And I don't know if they've done anything bad thing. I don't want to know that, Nick. Nick, Jesse's faithful producer, helping me out, told me this. Cover your ears, guys. Bradley Manning got Blank surgery. Don't know if you know that. And it's unclear whether Bruce Jenner did that. It's unclear. Blank surgery. Bottom surgery. Anyways, that's TMI. Too much information. Oh, no. What the heck? I'm showing, Joel was just showing you this person, this guy, this dude, kid. I don't think he's a kid anymore. He might be 18 now. I am Jazz. I forget what his real name was. But he is growing up. And is that supposed to be his boyfriend thing?
Boyfriend.
Black dude? Is that a real dude? Black dude?
Yeah. That's his boy.
Boy, girl, what percent? Anyways.
Oh, boy, girl, me.
Boy, girl, me. Oh.
And the me is checkbox.
Yeah.
So the scary...
That's a shirt that her black boyfriend, his black boyfriend. Yeah, go for it, Joel. That's awful.
The scary thing is about this is that you can turn into that.
Yeah.
And fit in normal in society.
Show you. Don't show him.
Oh, sorry.
That's enough, right, people?
It's just so crazy, though, is how you can, like, be that
and
then fit into society, and then it just fits in.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, that's scary. That's why no sex before wedlock. I mean, before wedlock. No sex out of wedlock.
Right.
Because you don't know what you're getting into.
Ugh. What a mess. You're going to end up on Jerry Springer. I have something to tell you. Let's go on Jerry Springer. Are you going to say yes? If somebody asks you to go on Jerry Springer or Maury or that other guy or the Jesse Lee Peterson show, The Fallen State, that'd be funny. I have something to tell you, honey. Let's go on The Fallen State. Dang. We need to bring a live audience into The Fallen State again. Early on, we had it. There was a live audience during that Black Lives Matter episode. It was funny. So this Bradley Manning guy, just FYI, was convicted in 2013 of taking millions of State Department cables, meaning messages, I guess, and classified video of U.S. helicopters firing on civilians and journalists in Iraq in 2007 to WikiLeaks. I guess he has like a weird sense of morality or conscience or something, where he can be a degenerate, but yet hold America accountable for wrongdoing. And now America's coming down hard on him. But he's a miserable person. But I heard that this I Am Jazz person is also miserable. With just miserable. And do they still have the show? Because they made a whole show out of this. Out of that person that you just saw. How old is Jazz? I don't know. But anyways, Chelsea Manning, Bradley, so-called Chelsea Manning, attempted suicide in a Virginia jail on Wednesday, you know that, after refusing to testify in the WikiLeaks probe. Now, according to The Sun, far-left outlet, fighting for his life. Jazz is 19 years old now, and the transgender kid. No longer a kid. Joel, you guys aren't, if you're listening to the podcast, you don't know what we just saw. Joel showed a picture, and you don't have to show it anymore, Joel. Joel showed a picture of this jazz dude in a bathing suit, a swim suit, like a woman's one. It's a one piece with the fake boobs and the bottom part cut off. Sorry. Done. I'm done. Anyways, Bradley Manning reportedly tried to commit suicide by hanging himself. The Sun, which is fake news, called herself, with a sheet at Alexandria Detention Center. I think they found him, according to the Daily Mail, said that the guards revived him they say her, after he, they say she, was discovered in his, they say her, cell, quote, blue and unresponsive. Wow, that's disgusting. What a mess. Let me get to some happier news. Super chats. Giovanni A says, here, thank you, Mari Uvaldo. Hola, James. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you, Mari. But we speak English here. It's hi, James. Just kidding. Jimmy Morgan, Washington State has property tax, but no state tax. Love your show, James. Keep up the good work. Yeah, all right. Thank you, Jimmy Morgan. Elfin says, only Alpha Chads and Virgin Stacys will survive. Okay. I didn't know that. And thank you to Noah's Arkansas TNT 88, Dark Side of the Bear, what? Catch the Thought, Hot Computer Smell. I'm sorry if I missed your diamonds. I'll have to check the emails. Dark Side of the Bear, what's pretty good at emailing them to me. Gorgonzola, always supportive. Shaggy Boy, Fuzzy Butt Bear, Super Dave, and Reed Johnson. Thank you guys. Cool. And I do have this. You are tearing him apart, Hake. Okay, what does it say? Noah's Arkansas, stop talking about Super Dave's future ex-wife, Ilhan Omar. I'm sorry, Super Dave. Super Dave and I think that Ilhan Omar is pretty. Do you think she's pretty?
Ilhan Omar?
Yeah.
She's pretty. Not my type, but she's pretty.
Pretty mean. Just play that Some People Did Something clip when you find it. Okay. Morning, y'all, says TNT 88. Dark Side of the Bear, what? AC30 Bear, AC30 Cal Bear says, put Purell in shotgun shells. XD. XD is when you're scrunching your eyes and smiling big.
Some people did something?
There it is. And then she's all, and then now the rest of us have to suffer.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Thank you. She's talking about the alt-right. Some people did something, meaning some guy drove into a crowd. And now all of us are losing access. I love how she talks. Isn't that so awesome? To our civil liberties.
Her English is so sharp, it almost sounds like she's cursing every time she...
That's so awesome. I love refugees. She's what is she, Somalian refugee? She was Somalia, Kenya, America, something like that. Came here at age 13. How old is she? Anyways, that's how the alt-right feels. Why isn't she battling on behalf of the alt-right? Because they're losing access, and even non-alt-right people, to be honest. Gavin McInnes is not alt-right. Jesse Peterson and all these people, and I'm saying civil liberties kind of loosely because they're not losing so-called civil liberties. But she was talking to CARE, Center for something like that, Israel, is American Islamic Relations, something like that. They are friends with the Muslim Brotherhood, which is supposedly maybe pro-terrorist. I don't know. But they're definitely pro-Muslim victimhood and far-left liberal, probably LGBTQIA stuff. And so she's complaining about how the Muslims are suffering from so-called, I think she's complaining about the Muslims suffering from so-called Islamophobia. And she was referring to the 9/11 terror attacks, right? Where those some people did something, flew into the plane. She's my age. She's 38. Nice. Nice age. But anyways, I'm older. Nice. What are the chances of a girl like me and a guy like her? I mean, never mind. Oh, man. Hot Computer Smell gave a diamond. Catch the Thought gave a diamond. Noah's Ark, Kansas. When will we be able to sub to the Hake Report? I did see that, Noah's Ark, Kansas. And I'm working on becoming a partner, not that kind of partner, like a verified affiliate on D Live. So thank you guys. Appreciate the support. Let me open the treasure chest. Let's do the sound when you get a chance. So, opening the treasure chest in a sec. So, Manning was still scheduled. Bradley Manning, the one who tried to commit suicide, was still scheduled to have a hearing on Friday. And they're going after Assange, Julian Assange. I know some of you guys are like pro Julian Assange. You want free Assange. Julian Assange is from some other country, and he was hiding in some Ecuadorian embassy, I think in London or somewhere, for years. Different people would go see him. Journalists, activists, I think a former porn star or whatever, really liked him because he stands on so-called principle, but he's a liberal, a leftist, I think, but he's not dumb enough to want Hillary Clinton to be president, and he knows that, like, just in general, like, the governments are corrupt, so that's good. But the judge is going to rule whether or not he, Manning, will be sanctioned for refusal to testify before a grand jury about the leaking of the secret documents to WikiLeaks. It's weird because already this guy is 31, by the way. 31 years old. Miserable. Transgenders are miserable. And it's not because of bullying. Anyways, maybe bullying by their mothers and weak fathers. I don't know. But it's interesting because Obama commuted this guy's sentence back in 2017. But they're going after WikiLeaks now. And Julian Assange embarrassed the government and embarrassed the media and embarrassed the DNC, Democrat National Committee, back in 2016 with the DNC leaks. And this is when Pizzagate came out and all that stuff, because John Podesta, who was Hillary's main guy for her campaign or something like that, he was having weird emails with Marina Abramovic, I think. I don't know, doing all kinds of weird stuff. Marina Abramovic being a weirdo woman, psycho, doing this weird spirit cooking stuff. Disgusting. Spirit cooking being, it's a weird thing. Like, they would spread fluids, bodily fluids. I don't know if it was animal or human or both or what. And it was all like in the name of art and just gross stuff. I'm glad that I got out of the art world. I went to school and, you know, because I was forced, you're going to college. It's good to have a degree. You'll get a job better. You're more likely to get a job having a degree, right? A lot of companies require you have a degree. I have not had one job where I needed a degree. Sorry, Dad. I love my dad, right? But I had to pick a major, right? Eventually, I went to Pasadena City College. That's a community college here, $12 a unit or whatever. Pretty cheap. And then I transferred to Azusa Pacific so I could commute from my parents' house, lived at my parents' house for most of that time. And then I moved out in the last 3 months to live with roommates. That was fun. And, but I majored in, I had to pick a major. What am I going to pick? Art. I kind of like art, like drawing and stuff. Not a lot, but I did it a little bit. And then I'm like, but I don't want to have to end up teaching. I don't want to have to write, because I hated writing, even though I was okay at it. And so I'm like, with an emphasis in graphic design, so I can make CD covers. Now they don't even sell CDs anymore. Hardly, right? So I wanted to do graphic design. And then so I went into that art world and got pretty into it. But luckily I didn't catch that liberalism thing. that has infected the art world, and that weird, kooky, fake spiritual stuff like spirit cooking that these weirdos got into. And there are some weird so-called artists, people, even in the mainstream. And that's why a lot of you guys have like these conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and Satanism and all that stuff. And it is satanic, but there's more satanic than just that stuff that's outright. The satanic stuff is this mess with the infidelity and getting into the pornography and getting all proud of getting drunk or high and taking away the shame of those things. That's satanic. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be back on Sunday with the Hake Report, 9 a.m. on these channels. Isn't that great? Before church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. here from Los Angeles. Figure it out if you're somewhere else. And then, of course, the Fallen State, new Fallen State coming out. Make sure you're subscribed and supporting the Jesse Lee Peterson Patreon page. We are putting out some exclusive content on there. It's nice. Do it. All right, guys. Take care.